afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're really excited to be up on stage today to be talking about, just first, we're going to keep us on track, Julie, I promise. But we wanted to talk a little bit about what's new with UnitedHealthcare. So maybe you could talk a little bit about the Motion program.
Great, and so thanks for having us, and I appreciate the opportunity too. So UnitedHealthcare Motion is a program we launched last year, and we first started talking about it at CES 2016.
Okay.
And we have been working on it for some time. You know, the UnitedHealthcare has had a presence at CES for quite a few years in the health section, and we've kind of grown up to with the digital health section of CES, and it's been amazing over the last 5 years seeing how it's just exploded. And during that time, we've been looking at these wearable devices, the activity trackers, and saying, there's something there, but what is it, and how does it fit into the healthcare space? How do we unlock the value in the technology? And going back and kind of looking into academic literature about, and clinical studies about how walking can improve health, and unpacking the technology itself and trying to figure out how does it work, and then trying to meld the two. And so why don't we go on to the next slide, and then we can take a look at and show the group, and I'll walk the group through how the program works.
Great.
So over a series of studies, I'm going to go back one.
Oops. Sorry about that.
There we go. Good. So over a few years, we sought to test these ideas, and we knew that getting people to walk more was key. We knew that the studies were showing how people get the wearable device, but sometimes they have a hard time sticking with it. We also knew a lot of people weren't just rushing out and getting one. But if there's something to this, how do we make that happen? So what we came across was this idea that people need to do three things with walking for overall health. That the clinical literature was indicating people had to get up and move about regularly during the day. They had to get their heart rate up for an extended period of time, at least once a day. And they had to be sufficiently active over the course of the day. So we came up with this method around what you see on the screen, which is frequency, intensity, and tenacity. So trying to put a little bit of marketing spin on there for the consumer.
I like it.
And what frequency is 6 times a day. The program is encouraging that user to walk 300 steps within 5 minutes, at least 1 hour apart. And they have to do that up to 6 times a day. Intensity is 3,000 steps in 30 minutes. So a sustained brisk walk gets the heart rate up, doesn't have to be a long 10-mile run. And last but not least is tenacity, which is 10,000 steps in a day.
Great.
So as we looked at the technology, this is what we wanted people to do, but there weren't devices that tracked that. The device needed to be able to show the user that they were doing these things. So through our collaboration with Qualcomm Life, we developed not only the infrastructure to enable this to happen, where the data is sent securely back to us for processing around the reward program, which I'll get to in a moment, but also to have a device that actually the consumer can look at and say, oh, hey, I got to get up and move about. So we've actually gone through 2 generations of the original device, which we'd call the Trio, because there were 3 components to the program. And what we found was it was really starting to work. So we had some employers testing it, and the employers were offering a financial incentive. And through a couple of iterations, we arrived on an incentive that is structured up to $4 a day. That would go into the individual's health savings account or health reimbursement account that they have with that employer health plan with UnitedHealthcare. And then it can be for a total over the year of $1,500.
That's amazing.
So it's got to be high enough. Yeah, it's got to be high enough that it means something to somebody, but it's also got to feel achievable. So we broke up the $4 to pieces. So as you can see on the screen, you get some reward if you do any of the individual pieces, up to the total, so that people feel like, well, because they kind of, when they approach this, like, well, I can't go for a 45-minute run, so I'm just, not going to do anything.
So you don't want it being demotivating for them.
Right. You want to give them credit for the effort they put in and what they do realize. And so what we were finding is that because of the structure of it, of the way we did the program, and the fact they can earn enough, which $1,500 is just about the same as what the average American spends out of pocket on healthcare in a year. It's about $1,400. So it helps, just through their daily activity, get money to pay for their healthcare expenses that they're going to have anyway. A lot of people under high deductible plans, and this helps ease the burden of that.
Great.
There's also an employer component too, because the employers are the ones who are saying, give us programs that help our employees live healthier lives and improve productivity, improve employee health. And so this program does all of that. But the employer also has a lot of influence over how effectively their population actually takes this up and sticks with it.
Sure.
Now, the devices were designed originally to kind of, make sure people kept doing it, but the employer has a lot of influence. So they can create, we have employers that create challenges at their workplace, right? And, some employers have this, and you see people walking around their offices, right? They're on their conference calls with their headsets on, and they're walking.
They're walking the walk.
It's really about changing that culture and getting people thinking about, hey, I shouldn't just be sitting at my desk all day. So as we saw the success of the program and we've scaled it, made it broadly available in 2016, we knew we needed to take it further. And that's really what we've announced this week, is that in looking at the program and saying, where do we go next? It's creating a bring your own device approach to the program. So the program is still the same structure, but that's where the efforts with Fitbit have come about, right? To bring Fitbit into the program to participate for people that have their own Fitbit device.
Great. So you guys piloted it last year based on this scientific evidence and built this program with these 3 metrics and then decided to expand the program this year, both in terms of accessibility through the employers, right? And then also, we're very excited to announce that we're now integrated into the Qualcomm Life Hub that you referenced, as well as the UnitedHealthcare Motion program. So our charge...
We're excited to have you.
Thank you. And I think it's great for both, as you said, employees and employers, because employees can now have choice around what device they want to use, what one is going to fit their lifestyle, and employers still get to add that value of helping to reduce the burden of healthcare costs in a way that works for the organization and for the individual.
That's exactly true. So we're really excited to be able to bring this expanded approach into our employers, because they're the ones who really want to find ways to engage their employees. And by having more flexibility around what devices work with the program, we really think it's going to broaden the appeal of the program and hopefully get even more consumers involved and just literally getting credit for taking the steps they take every day.
Sure. Yeah, and I love the partial credits that they can earn throughout the day and throughout the year to make it attainable and sustainable for them as well. So you get the health plus the wealth back in the pocketbook. So that's great. But yeah, so I mean, just to focus on the Fitbit piece for a little bit and what the integration means is that actually on our Charge 2 device, which is the best-selling activity tracker in the US, now we've built for the first time, so it's a first for us as well, building a custom app that sits right on the device to show those fit metrics and put them right on this device. So not only do they get their FIT notifications throughout the day, but they're also going to get to take advantage of the full social Fitbit ecosystem. So if they're friends and family members and they're motivated by their colleagues, they can get those connections socially through our app, and they can also take advantage of the other features of the device. So things like heart rate and sleep tracking and other metrics around health that they might want to take advantage of, those are also now available to them in conjunction with the Motion program and with those fit metrics.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
on wrist, all in real time, and just working really seamlessly. So I think it's a really a great program. It's really a win-win-win program where you're winning for the employer and the employee, who's also a consumer, and just someone who really wants to be able to use the device that they think best suits their needs.
Right, and it's giving people credit for using the devices, right? So it's not just, one of the challenges we all face in this space is people are creatures of habit, and that when the novelty wears off, how do you help people stick with it? And the program creates the behavioral, economic incentive to do it, but they also need that nudge. And that's where having the app embedded into the charge device is so powerful, because they can check the device, they can see how they're doing, and get the reminders they need to keep not only doing it every day, but doing it during the day. So they actually earn that incentive. So if they only do the frequency 4 times, they don't get the reward. But getting to 6 is only 2 brief 5-minute walks.
Yeah,
and
so
that can be just chasing the kids around at the end of the day, too.
Oh, that's certainly what I do, and how I get my steps is chasing my kids at the beginning and the end of the day, and you can build it into the day and make it attainable, because it's those small steps that really add up to those big results.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think it's really a great program that brings everything together. So can you talk a little bit, just for those who aren't familiar with the program, how they get access to it? And so it's an employer-based program, so an employer chooses the Motion program. Is that how it works?
Yeah, it is. So, employers have offered wellness programs for well over 10 years, but this is really the first one that actively incorporates a wearable device into it in this manner. And so if an employer is interested and they have UnitedHealthcare coverage, they can add this program. We offer this in over 40 states across the country.
That's great.
And they just layer it into their UnitedHealthcare benefits. We get them set up. We can either help them figure out, okay, they're going to use Fitbit, or they're going to use the stock device that's part of the program, and then equip them with the communications they need, so the employer can actually be the one that, putting signs up in the break room, sending email reminders and the like, and really be the driving force behind it, really get it started. And then hopefully that generates its own momentum, and people stick with it, and they really change that culture and get the results they're looking for.
Yeah, we really call it kind of changing the water cooler conversation, right? So you're changing that conversation to a culture of health where everybody is equipped with this. They can support each other, again, financially and socially, and really get motivated and keep that momentum going. So
yeah, exactly right.
It's really exciting and a really innovative program. So we're thrilled to be integrated into it, and I think it's a great win for the employees and members as well. And this is available for any Charge 2 device. So if there's an existing user who has one, they will be able to turn this on in early 2017 and use it as part of the program right away.
Right, and that's what we're really excited about too, is that it makes it really easy for our members who are participating in the program. If they want to, switch to using their Charge device, they can do that. It's simple as that.
That's great.
So,
we love simple.
Very much so.
So I think we have just maybe another minute or so if we want to take a question at all. No, we were supposed to keep.
Do we have any questions? If you raise your hand. Oh.
How do you keep people from cheating? I'm going to give this device to my kid when he plays on a soccer team.
You're only cheating yourself. No,
that's a great question, because these kinds of employer-sponsored programs that we administer on behalf of the employers, they have to have that kind of integrity to it. So when we were digging into these devices early on, that's one of the things that we looked at, is that any device that qualifies for this program, we're expanding it to a bring your own device program. Not any device can qualify. So we are vetting the devices that are being considered for expansion for precisely that reason. And then if they pass that, then as Amy mentioned too, it's got to get integrated into the TUNET platform that Qualcomm Life administers for us to connect in, so that we can actually give people the reward. So there's both the device has to be reliable, but also has to tie in so we can give people that credit securely as well. So there's got to be that data integrity component on both ends.
Yeah, so there's a certification process that goes along with this. So to your point, it's really a kind of choose your own device of the ones that are supported within the program that have met those qualifications. So that's great.
We do have time for another question. No more questions? You guys did a great job. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you so much.